Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome back to Watchbox Studios and Watches Tonight. The studio is offline for maintenance today, so I'm on somewhat more than my usual 7-second delay. That said, I'm gonna miss you guys, but we've got a great one. Tonight, I am filling a Baselworld-sized wish list of fun and fantasies. This is my Omega Watches Dreamboat special for Basel Week. You saw my predictions episode where I did my darndest to actually guess what's going to happen. Well, this is the opposite. Long-shot outcomes that I would target if I ran Omega Watches. We'll do a Patek and Rolex equivalent for tomorrow, so stay tuned. Now, even during Basel, remember, there is no better place than thewatchbox.com to buy, sell, and trade your watches. We make it fun, we make it easy, and when you're selling, we pay cash, we pay fast, and we make it a no-brainer. I would also remind you, before we jump headlong into the topic tonight, to help me fill the gap, Tim_Mosso on Instagram, where I am doing 60-second video reviews every single day, and I'm saving the best stop for the gram. So join me there when the video stops here. All right. Viewer wrist shots. I haven't forgotten you. Henrik S. of Hamburg joins with his 50 Fathoms tribute to Milspec from Sylt, an island in northern Germany. Nicholas A. fights the good fight with his Rolex Deep Sea while studying law at NYU. Hang in there, Nicholas. Josh B. 3D printed lugs himself for his Swatch System 51 Fudge to fit a NATO strap, and a man after my own heart. He's showing us his 1996 Audi A4 in the background. Elton H., topical and timely, joins us from Dublin, Ireland on St. Patrick's Day with his Graham Chronofighter Nose Art Limited Edition. Guys, send your wrist shots to mondaymailbag at thewatchbox.com to see your analog on my digital. Jumping into the main feature. Okay. Wishlist Omega Watches for Basel. You saw my predictions. Now join me for a speculative journey into pure Omega watch brand fantasy. No longer part of Basel, Omega will be holding a fair at the exact same time as Basel, and it'll be in Zurich. It'll be called Time to Move. For practical purposes, I'm lumping these guys in with Basel because at the end of the day, it's more fun, and I'm not sure that the collector experience changes. You used to see watches debut in Switzerland during Basel, and then there were pictures on the internet. This year, you'll watch as timepieces debut in Switzerland during Basel, and pictures are on the internet. Where those pictures come from, who cares? We're watching this online, and I'm joining you there. Omega 2019, my wish list. A full sapphire. That's the picture to represent Omega. But a full sapphire Hour Vision as either a send-off for the line or a flagship for this model family. Back in 2007, the De Ville Hour Vision launched both the Omega 8500 calibers, still the anchor of the entire line, and the sapphire watch trend of our modern era. You can see the lateral viewports. The 4 lateral sapphires were designed to permit viewing of the movement while it was still strapped to your wrist. And the cool thing is that since then, we've seen ultra-luxe brands such as Grubel Forsey, Richard Mille, and Gerard Perregaux employ full sapphire cases, essentially taking the next step in the journey that Omega started. But these have been for prices spanning 6 to 7 figures US. In other words, a chunk of change. But one could argue that Hublot did the most to democratize sapphire with the Big Bang Unico Sapphire of 2016. Now at $50,000, still a chunk of change, but order of magnitude less than multiple millions for Richard Mille. That's no bargain, but what Hublot did was create a multi-piece sapphire case rather than the monoblock one-piece chunk etched out to make the Grubels and the Richard Milles of the world. With Omega's economies of scale, you can finally bridge the gap between $50,000 and the $5,000 to $10,000 watch, making sapphire viable on an all-new price point and to an all-new market. And Omega Hour Vision, let's say annual calendar. And by the way, can we go full screen, guys? Because that is my favorite modern Omega. But if you can imagine this gorgeous 41mm steel Hour Vision annual calendar with a full sapphire case, that would fulfill the original promise of the transparent case Hour Vision concept. Finish the mission, Omega. Full sapphire Hour Vision. Okay, and I think I speak for all of us, not just the sleight of wrist, when I ask, Omega, please, slimmer cases. This is my next talking point. And by the way, that's no exaggeration. That's an actual screenshot from the Omega website. That's your 2019 Planet Ocean. Surprise. I kid. But of course, it takes love to tell somebody when they need to change. This can be difficult. And I do love the Omega watch brand. I told you how I adore that Hour Vision annual calendar. And through my grandfather and my graduation, Omega watches, that's where I started in the luxury watch space and as a collector. And all of that said, and this is where it becomes tough. Tough love, Omega, but Omega watches are fast becoming unmanageably thick. My old graduation watch, the Pierce Brosnan Diver 300 meter, that was under 12 millimeters thick. The 2018 Diver 300 meter, that's almost 14 millimeters thick. How thick is that? Well, it's almost as chunky as a Rolex Yachtmaster 2, a complex complication with almost 400 parts and a 44 millimeter case. Let's just say that at this point, the Planet Ocean chronograph, at almost 20 millimeters thick, is practically a novelty watch, and that even by the standard of oversized novelty watches from Hublot and Panerai. You just can't make that an everyday watch. Even if you've got the wrist for it, it's almost an inch thick, and that's crazy. So, I realize all of this is the consequence of a few features that have become superimposed and concurrent in the product line. Modular chronographs, in the case of that Planet Ocean, we're taking the 8500 base and grafting a chronograph on top, and also the tri-level coaxial, the latest version of the coaxial. It has 1, 2, 3 levels of escapement. The coax is monstrously thick, even before complications are added these days. But remember, going back to the beginning, coaxial escapement inventor Dr. George Daniels of England originally sold his coaxial concept by going around Switzerland to brands like Rolex and Omega and Patek Philippe and showing them their own movements in their own cases with the coaxial added to fit in those bridges, plates, and cases, which is to say the coax in the hands of a master can be tamed. And Omega, you may not have that guy on the team anymore, but you've got the brain power and the money. Slim down those coaxes. It's time to go on some sort of a 5-step plan. I can't recommend Weight Watchers, but give me a call. I'll show you what a human wrist looks like. Model it after that. You can even name the watch after me. Okay, this will cost time and money, but let me remind you, it beats lost business over unwearable watches. Case thickness for many is a greater limiting factor than case diameter. 44 for a small wrist is fine, unless it's 44 and 21 millimeters thick. Okay, object of desire. A revival of the Omega Museum Watch series. These were exquisite. Oh, that officer's chronograph. Look at those scales. Okay, it started in 2001. It spanned 10 years and 10 watches. One of the earliest and most nuanced realizations of the modern tribute watch concept. It was surprising that this didn't come from a boutique house, but rather from a mass manufacturer and a volume brand. Only Vacheron does tribute watches better than the Omega Museum series. Now, all of these watches had soul and identity. They were classics in their own right. From the Museum Watch 1, the 1938 Pilot's Watch, which was a sensational start, to the glorious Blancpain-powered Omega Cosmic Triple Calendar. That was Blancpain powered, by the way, and absolutely unbeatable. Give me that over a Vacheron Toledo 1952. And, of course, the exquisite 2007 135-piece Omega Marine 1932, a recreation in form and function of Omega's first ever swimmable watches. These were Omegas to die for. Omega, where have they gone? The market hasn't evaporated, just the watches. Remember, that thing with its double canister case was so rare that the 135 pieces almost never come up on markets. They trade hands between collectors who've already agreed to sell to each other. So, only Vacheron has done reeditions at this level. I'm not even going to say better, just at this level. Omega, please revive the series, and I've got a great suggestion on how to kick it off. I can think of the perfect comeback watch, the 1954 Omega Synchrobeat and its deadbeat seconds, caliber 372. This was Omega's contemporary doctor's watch. In the mid-50s, there was a brief raft of deadbeat seconds watches. It was thought that this was better for doctors who had to take pulses, and it was intended to compete with the rival and contemporary Rolex TrueBeat 6556, which is to say, it also could rekindle a wonderful modern-day rivalry if Rolex takes up the thread. But remember, with only 1,000 original synchro beats manufactured, and all but 12 to 24 of them brought into retirement by a recall and destroy campaign due to problems with the movement, most Omega diehards will never be able to see a synchro beat, much less own one. An Omega Museum Collection recreation of this crosshair dial deadbeat second beauty, yes, in color gold, I'll take it in yellow, that works on this watch. But that would be sublime and a wonderful way to restart the series. Now, note, I am normally not a fan of vintage reeditions and tribute watches. Generally, they're rote and bankrupt from an intellectual and artistic standpoint, but Omega proved that it could do it well. And when a species is all but extinct, I can conscience a bit of cloning. Omega, please, make this happen. Okay, from the zany end of the spectrum, in a year when it's said the Milgauss and its signature orange lightning bolt seconds hand is going to fade into the sunset, walk off like a cowboy, the time has come for more orange in the watch industry. From Omega, the time has come for full orange ceramic cases. Omega offers cases in black ceramic, in gray ceramic, in blue ceramic, as of 2017, and there is even a white side of the moon white ceramic watch that apparently only I love. You guys have told me so. But remember, Omega has orange ceramic technology. Remember the orange ceramic of 2013? That watch right there. A platinum watch, a GMT, platinum case, platinum dial, platinum buckle, platinum stitching in the strap, and with all of 8 pieces made at $75,000, a rare treat. I would say, all things considered, the time has come to roll out full orange ceramic cases, Omega, and by all logic, this case material would make the most sense in the Planet Ocean line. Remember, the Planet Ocean has long used orange as its signature accenting color. But don't forget, ceramic is both tough and extremely light, so it makes total sense to roll out a full orange ceramic PloProf to keep that rugged sports watch rugged and scratch-free, but also to complement the aesthetic of the existing orange ceramic bezel and keep that monstrous 55mm case light and wieldy on the wrist. It's also hypoallergenic. That said, Omega, you can totally shoot for the moon, the orange side of the moon. You make that happen, and that is a Speedmaster I will be obligated to purchase. I have a quick eBay note, folks, and this is a new one. This is an experiment. We've never done this before, but from March 31st to April 6th, I'm going to be curating a eBay-sponsored auction. It is our first collaborative auction. It's the best of both worlds with eBay's auction dynamic and Watchbox's quality selection, warranties, and return rights. All of which is to say, it's basically like buying a Watchbox watch, but we've never used eBay as an auction site. We've used it as a buy it now storefront. With the auction dynamic, we're giving you basically a rare and experimental opportunity to get the watch for less than our buy it now. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but you never know until you try. And because I'm going to be curating the pieces, I can guarantee you they will be compelling and worthwhile. Jumping back to the wrist shots, guys, thank you. Keep sending them. Matt F. chills in Batangas, the Philippines, with his Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Ceramic. Soheb F. rolls with Mercedes-Benz AMG, another German car fan like myself, and his Rolex GMT Master 2. Phil C. and Phil Jr. share a 25th birthday, Phil Jr.'s, and he received his dad's Rolex GMT BLNR on the occasion. Happy birthday and congratulations, Phil Jr. Patrick A. wears a Rolex Explorer 2, previously featured on this channel and our programs. Patrick, thank you for trusting our company. Wear it in great health. Guys, if you want to see your pieces on these pixels, send your wrist shots to mondaymailbag@thewatchbox.com. And remember to join me, Tim_Mosso. Please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 50K and 2K19 on Instagram, my newest video review platform. And comment and subscribe. Tell me below this video what Wishlist episodes do you want to see for the rest of Basel Week? I've got all of Tuesday and Wednesday to make it happen. Thanks to you, thanks to my crew, Time Out, Tim Out, and thank you for logging on.